Oh my God, Paul.
We've had no sound.
We've had no sound. That's the first time we had sound.
Oh.
Oh, you gotta love it.
Thanks, Roger, for pointing it out.
Thank you, Roger.
Thanks, Roger. Really appreciate that, Roger.
So we gotta go back.
So we gotta do this real quick. So,
Go back to
all right. So we're
10.
gonna, yeah,
10.
okay, we're gonna take it from 10. So if you've been watching the whole time, which I'm not sure if you have, because we haven't
No
had
sound.
any sound. So, but if you stuck with us, thank you very much.
Roger,
So-
thank you.
At number 10, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get to number 5 on my list, and then these two have made a top 5 list for themselves. So we'll talk about my first, my from 10 to 6, and then we're gonna go through the table and do our 5 to 1. Okay. We had a lot of good conversation about a lot of these games. That we're gonna blow through past some of that stuff, but that's okay. I'm definitely gonna have to tell people like watch like halfway through the video, you know.
Oh, yeah. Where are we at? You know,
I don't know.
I'll go look at that while you do that.
And we're good. We're good. We're good for now. Okay, we're good for now. We're live. We'll edit the video
Okay,
down. We'll
number
edit
10.
the video down. So number 10 is gonna be Forum Trajanum. That is a Steffenfeld game. Absolutely love some of his games, not all of his games. But this one really got me back. It actually made me very interested in Bonfire. In Forum Trajanum, you have the central city board where you're putting districts down of various colors and trying to color match. You can put your people down to cover those sections in order to get more benefits and money. You also have the main thing for you that you're doing is you have your main player board. You draw 2 cards in a turn, and then those 2 cards are going to tell you which rows or columns you're going to be pulling your little chits from that are face down. From those 2 chits, you have to decide which one you want to keep and which one you want to hand to an opponent.
Yeah.
So you really have to stress over like, well, I see what you're doing. I don't want to give you this one because this one's really good for you, but I need this one. This one I really need. So what do I do? And that's literally every turn of the game you make that choice, which is fantastic. I love choices like that. Anything that makes me go like, oh, this is great for me. Wait, but this is really, oh, wait a minute. I love that. I really like having difficult decisions in a game that aren't complicated decisions. Decision is binary. It's one or the other, but it's, oh my God, there's so much that goes into that one decision. Love it. You both have played it a lot. What did you guys think of it?
Well, I don't remember playing it a lot, but
A couple times. Yeah.
it wasn't memorable for me because I don't remember playing it at all. So,
I don't think you played it in 2020. I think you played it like when I first got it.
Possibly.
Yeah.
But even then, I still don't remember playing it. So unfortunately, it would just be a. I'd probably play it again, but
if I showed you some pictures, I think you'd remember.
Maybe.
But I mean, it has been a long time.
Yeah.
Like we did have. I mean, there was a few months that I didn't even see you. So I mean, like 4 months that we didn't even see you.
yeah,
So,
no kidding.
Yeah. And what do you think of it?
I liked it. It's good. It's fun. And you feel like a horrible, spiteful person when you're like, well, I would have used this, but because you can't, that would be good for you. I'm just going to take it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I love this. Like I said, I love decisions like that. Fantastic. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do these kind of fast because we've already done them. But we're gonna go into number 9, and number 9 for myself is gonna be Mariposas.
Oh yeah.
Now, Mariposas is the follow-up game from Elizabeth Hargrave to Wingspan, and haven't talked about Wingspan too much on the channel. I've talked about it with some other people, but while I like Wingspan, I'd give it like a B, like maybe a B minus. The reason for that is, if you're going to give me a 5-player game, I like it to be really good at 5 players. And while I have some problems with it at 5, I love the game at 3 and 4. Really, really good at 3 and 4. And it's got a really good automata that plays at 1 player. But 5-player, I didn't enjoy the game. But Mariposas, on the other hand, I really, really enjoyed the game at every player count. I did not disappoint me. I really like it. I prefer the art and the components in Wingspan, but Mariposas is just, yeah, you have the 2 action cards. You're choosing one of those 2 action cards that you're playing each turn. You draw another action card at the end of your turn. If you get doubles, you can throw one away so you don't have double of the same one if you want. Or you can be like, I like both of these. I want to keep the same one because I want to do this twice in a row. Love the game. I love the variable scoring. There's tons of replay value to it. Absolutely love Mariposas. And how did you feel about it?
Well, I feel it wasn't as pretty as Wingspan,
Yeah,
but
I
I did enjoy
agree.
it. I felt that I need to play it a little bit more in order to really enjoy it, because I didn't fully understand a lot of the play aspects to it, a lot of the cards and how to use them well and stuff like that. So if I played it a few more times, then I would probably enjoy it. But the same thing was kind of like the same for Wingspan, like just playing it the one or two times.
Two times, yeah.
Yeah, it you don't quite get into the groove of how to play it.
Yeah.
And so definitely, I think
Yeah, a lot of depth to the game. Like
Yeah.
deceptively easy to play, but there's a lot of depth to it.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
It's a good game. I agree with Paul. I would like to play it more to get an actual feel for it. What?
And Umbrella 04. I know the newest one, the Oceania expansion has 5 boards. If the Europe one didn't come with 5 boards, that may be a mistake in your copy. I don't know. I'd have to look at that. I'll look into that for you and see, because I know the newest expansion has 5 boards, but the other one should too. That's weird, but I'll take a look at that for you and see. Maybe I'm wrong. I've been known to be wrong once or twice in my life.
And Mariposa is the Spanish word for butterfly, and it's a game about butterflies.
Yes, which is, I wouldn't expect it to have a game about butterflies in my top 10 games of the year. Would not have expected that. Wouldn't have called that one at the beginning of the year.
El Paso's on the board on that one, though.
Yes, we are. Which is really cool. Hard to get a copy right now, but if you can track one down, definitely worth it.
Yeah.
So we're going to go on to my number 8, and my number 8 game is going to be Tawan Tensuyu. Now, this one I actually did a review of on Board in El Paso and Game Vault, and I stand by it. I absolutely love the game. Fantastic. One of my complaints is the board is huge in that one. It's a little big, but I mean, there's a lot of actions you can take. You have the various worker placement spaces that you have on the board. You have the rondelle in the middle for the other pieces. I love the game.
That's good.
AP could be a big problem with that game, because as long as you can pay for the action, you can take so many actions in that game, and it's really like you got to know what you want to do. So AP could be a big thing, and teaching it is a little wonky when you first try to teach somebody who's never played it before, but I love the game. The game is fantastic. It does get past all of those very, very nicely. I really, really enjoy Tawan Tensuyu. Fantastic game. Really good 2-player game. Really, really liked it a 2-player.
You should play it with me one day.
We will. All of these are definitely going to see my table a lot. And you really enjoyed it as well?
I like it a lot better than the other one, which I'm not going to attempt to say again. What is it? Oh,
Teotihuacan?
is that how you say it?
Teotihuacan.
That
I don't know. Joe's not here to
correct us. And again, I will say my ancestors hate me for not being able to say that. It's okay though. But I actually really do like it, and I agree. It is wonderful, but yeah, definite AP. Like,
Yeah. AP could be a problem. So that's not what I'd play with just anybody. Like
But it's
the right
wonderful.
group, getting that game would absolutely love it. I mean, I'd put it up there with like Great Western Trail, games like that. Like it's really, really good. It's fantastic, fantastically designed. Not super good on the graphic design, but very, very, very good game. Next up is going to be my number 7 game is Alma Mater. I got it right this time.
Yeah.
Alma Mater is a game that I'm not very good at. Out of all of my plays of Alma Mater, I've won twice.
I'm glad you admit that.
Yeah, I'm pretty bad at it, but I really love the game. And the fact that I'm not good at it and it's in my top 10 should say something. I love the creators behind Lorenzo Il Magnifico and Coimbra. My big problems with those 2 games is that it doesn't offer a ton of replayability to see new things and have new strategies, because most of it's going to be the same every time you play. Alma Mater fixes that. There's a lot of difference in that. Even though like you use the same students in every game, their positions will be different, which changes a lot. Like that really changed. Like just a minor change like that adds a lot of variation in the game. Really love it. You do have to deal with 2 different economies in books and money, and then you have your worker placement. You have your your professors and your students.
Science.
Very, very good game, and the components are
Oh, yeah.
fantastic.
They're
Those
beautiful.
books are amazing. The
They're
little
awesome.
plastic books, those are fantastic. How did you played it once? How did you feel about it?
I enjoyed it. I feel the same way about Mariposa. There's a lot on the board to digest, and it's really hard to try and digest that, especially in the situation that we're in. You know,
Yeah,
trying
we
to
were all 6
distance.
feet away from the table.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but even closer, I still feel that there's a lot to digest,
Yes.
and in order to enjoy it more, I would have to play it more in order to understand mechanics on it. Because actually, there's a lot of mechanics to it. You know, several different systems all together, all in that one. So it is complex. Yeah, it just comes down to I'd have to play it more.
Gotcha. And I know, how'd you feel? Like, you played it a lot 2-player,
I have.
and you got to play 3 and 4
I
player.
have played all the variations. It is actually a lot of fun. I do enjoy it. It is higher for me than you.
Yes.
I'm gonna say that. I really do like it though, and I think that even for somebody who's not a big board gamer, this is something that they can really grasp and have a lot of fun with.
All right. So yeah, that's Alma Mater. Moving on to number 6, and this will be the last one that we do until we get into everybody else's top 5s. And we'll be starting with Paul at number 5. But for now, my number 6 is going to be Spirit Island. Now, I cannot stress enough, I love this game. Especially love it at 2-player. Fantastic game. As when our mic was muted, we were talking like it helped save our sanity in
During
COVID when
COVID
COVID
lockdown.
first started, because we played it like mad. Like this game, oh my
I gotta say, we
lord!
had a really good ratio for
Yes.
wins to losses.
Yeah,
with this
we're
one.
like 60% wins.
Yeah, we
we're
did
like, which is
really
pretty good.
well.
Which is really good. Like we got really good at the game. We did
Mm-hmm.
it. We got to where we were playing it like difficulty 8, which
Yeah.
is pretty
Wow.
hard with the game. Like it goes up to
was
10.
a lot of
So
fun.
yeah, very good game. Fantastic. It's
I'd
like
still
reverse
play it
Catan.
because
Yeah,
it's fun.
it plays like reverse Catan. So instead of you populating the island, you're trying to run all of the population off the island. So very cool. There's a lot of interaction with the other players. It's a completely cooperative game. Love it. It's Pandemic on steroids. Absolutely love it. How did you feel about it, Paul?
Oh, I loved it. It probably would be my number 6 if I continued on the list too. I really felt like, you know, I like to kill a few Spaniards with that game. But
Yes. Yeah, that's actually the game we
Right?
won was against the Spaniards.
yeah, well, right, yeah. And I know someone out there actually would enjoy that reference with the crazy eyes. But anyway, but yeah, I really enjoyed it, especially because there wasn't a lot to ingest. You had your cards in your hands. You knew what you could do. You could see easily from afar what's going on. And, you know, even though you still had to converse with everyone else, you could easily, definitely not an AP issue.
Yeah.
Game.
Yeah, you had more ownership of your actions.
Yes.
Like, really, it's not like Pandemic where guys like, well, you need to do this because this is the best choice. It's the only
Right.
one that makes sense. This one's like, well, no, these are my actions. This is what I can do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And best names for any characters in any game. You know,
Oh,
the shadows flicker like flame and vital strength of the earth. Yeah,
I like
those are
that
so
one.
cool. Yeah, those are so cool. And how did you like you played it at all player counts, but really you played it a lot 2-player. How did
Yeah.
you feel about it?
I like it a lot. I mean, there's times when we get so frustrated with the board.
Yes.
We're like, walk away for like 5 minutes and then, okay, I'm ready to continue. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah, there are times when it's like Pandemic. There's going to be times where the game, it's going to be like, look, we're okay as long as this doesn't come out on Jungles. Oh, great, it's
Great,
Jungles.
Jungles.
Awesome.
Everything
You know,
just
yeah.
goes, whoop, and then it's like, great. But very good.
Yes, very good game. So starting with number 5 now, we're going to go with Paul's number 5. We'll actually do my number 5s last. We'll do Paul's first on number 5.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have the pictures for us, but that's okay. Number 5 was a game that you introduced to me, Santa Monica, and that's the one with the earthquakes, right? Or am I thinking the
no,
wrong one?
you're thinking of Venice. You're thinking
Oh,
of San
Venice.
Francisco. Yeah.
Okay.
Aftershock. You're thinking-
Aftershock.
Yeah.
You know what?
Aftershock.
Scratch that. What I have on Aftershock.
But yeah, we actually have a video of that one on the channel of us playing that one.
We do.
That one was good.
That was
really
good. When it comes to competitive games, I really like to be able to stab my friends in
Oh,
the
yeah.
back,
Oh,
and
yeah.
there's lots of stabbing with that. It's straight. It's a straightforward game. not all complex, but yet still a lot that you can do with it.
Yeah, it very much it is like competitive Pandemic, which I could see you really like that. Santa Monica is another one that we played as the tableau building game. We played that one a few times too.
Oh yeah, you know
Yeah.
what? That's probably down there on my honorable mentions too.
Yeah. So we'll actually talk about Santa Monica at the end. And then Sonia, what was your number 5?
My number 5 is actually Alma Mater.
So yeah, again, like
I enjoy it.
yeah, the things we said about it,
Not
like
great.
definitely stand by. Like yeah, fantastic game, very very good. Love it. I highly recommend it. Definitely recommend it. So my number 5 is gonna be a game that came out like 4 years ago, but I played it so much in 2020 that I had to put it on my top 10 favorite games, and that is Arkham Horror, the card game. This is a living card game. Right now, it's kind of hard to find anything for it. Getting any product for it is really tough because Asmodee and Fantasy Flight are having problems with shipment and stuff, but the game is fantastic. It is my favorite card game of all time at this point. It has surpassed Netrunner. It is so good. The story is fantastic that it tells. The play that it is amazing. I love Arkham Horror. It is in my top 5 games of all time as well. So I could not put it on this list. And the only reason it's at number 5 is because I really want to highlight some of the other newer games that came out this year and a couple of the games that I played and just really had my horizons open up. Now I know like you haven't even played it, and Sonia doesn't really like Cthulhu style games, but I have a friend that I get to play this with on a near weekly basis, and I'm so happy that I do because I absolutely love the game. It is so good. I am hardcore thinking about doing one of the entire campaigns on the channel because I love the game that much. I think it'd be worth it.
Well, I know that the pretty much any other Arkham Horror games that you have brought to me have been enjoyable.
Yeah. And this one, like your deck is you as a person, which is really cool. Like it's got all of your hopes, your dreams, your demons and stuff are all in this deck, your friends, your guns and stuff like that. Everything is in that deck. So it's not just, oh, this is my character's deck of cards. Like, no, that's your character. And as you gain experience, you add more cards and stuff. And literally you can gain more madnesses and stuff that you have to add into there that changes everything up. It is so good. And your decisions matter too. So while you're playing, you'll be like, okay, do we want to save do we want to go over here, which is now going to cut off over this, or do we want to go do this? You know what I mean? And it really changes the game too, which I love, which gets a lot of replayability. Absolutely love Arkham Horror. If you ever want to play the game with me, if you ever want to see the game and you're at Game Vault, let me know. I will talk your ear off about it. That is my number 5 for 2020, Arkham Horror, the card game. So moving on to our number 4, Paul, if you could help us out with your number 4, please.
My number 4 is Everdale. Now, granted, I played one of the expansions of it, but it's still basically the same game.
Yeah.
It's a fun game. It is kind of lighthearted. Good, good artwork with it. So it is, a rather visually, impressive game.
Yes.
Beautiful. Easy to understand.
Yes.
Just all around good game for anybody.
Oh, yeah. And Sonia, how did you feel about Everdell?
I love Everdell. We'll get into that later. No, I absolutely love Everdell. It's wonderful. The components are absolutely fantastic.
Oh, yeah. One of the prettiest games I've ever seen. I mean, the artwork is stellar. I mean, there's certain cards I want to blow up into pictures and put it on my wall. It's so good. Like, the tree is amazing. The squishy food is amazing. The resin, like, component-wise, the game knocks out of the park. Rules-wise, it's easy to teach, but there's a lot of depth to it. Like, we could teach our younger kids how to play the game, but I can still play it with like Paul and Sonia, and we can have like a really kind of cutthroat game where I'm messing with his city and he's throwing the fool into my city to mess with my plans, and it's fantastic. Really, really love Everdell. I will talk more about Everdell a bit later.
All right. And my number 4, right? We're at 4.
You should definitely try Spirecrest Umbrella. Spirecrest, really, really good. It's actually my favorite of the expansions. It really changes up the end of season action. Fantastic. Love Spirecrest. They're all good expansions, but I really, really like what Spirecrest added to it. So Sonia, let's go ahead and talk about your number 4.
Spirit Island.
Okay, so yeah, we've talked a lot about Spirit Island. You guys know how we feel about it. Fantastic game, comes highly recommended from the Dyson Dudes. That gets a recommended from Dyson Dudes. Yeah. So my number 4 is actually going to be a. I'm surprised it made the list, and it actually did push off the other game that would have been in this position for that, and that is Viscounts of the West Kingdom. Now, this is a controversial take, apparently, but I think Viscounts of the West Kingdom is the best of these three, which apparently I'm in the minority of that. Most
Yes.
people think that Architects and Paladins is better, but I love Viscounts. Viscounts for me changes up the formula of what I've seen from Raiders of the North Sea, Shipwrights of the North Sea, Explorers of the North Sea, Paladins of the West Kingdom, Architects of the West Kingdom. Really changes that up for me. So it was a breath of fresh air at the perfect time for me. So like it was the game I didn't know I needed when I needed it. You know, it really just kind of exploded for me. It's so good. Really love it. You can see our play, or you can see our review of it on the channel. Obviously, I was basically performing fellatio on it for 30 minutes. I absolutely love the game. How did you guys feel about it?
Well, unlike you, I haven't played all of these variants of the same
yes.
game over and over. So I did enjoy it, but I am in the crowd of I enjoyed Architects better.
Yeah. Which I think you got a lot of plays of Architects.
I
too.
did.
Yeah.
I did.
So I think when you play Viscounts more, I think it'll get closer on your list. But
You are right, because once again with the board, though you can see it, there's still a lot to ingest.
Yeah.
So granted, I don't have to be studying it.
But there's a lot
read it,
to the
but
game.
there's
The
a
game
lot.
is very deep.
Yeah.
Very deep.
And there's it's a victory point soup kind of game, salad, but you still kind of have to pick one or two.
Yeah.
So you can't just go hog wild and do it all. You have to focus yourself, and
And
when
you shouldn't just do one.
right.
Yeah. Because if you just do one, you may kill with that one, but you're probably not going to get enough
You won't
points to
win.
win.
Yeah.
And
It's like-
when this is the first or second time you played it, you don't know which one of those that you need to go for your particular play style or the character that you're playing and how things go.
Exactly.
So yeah, I would definitely need some more plays with it, but I definitely did enjoy it.
And your take on Viscounts?
Now I've played all the
No, all player
variations.
counts, yeah.
All
and
player
all,
counts
yeah,
and
all
all
the variations.
variations.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. It's good. It's not in my top 5. I prefer Architects.
Yeah. And like I said,
But-
but it's a good problem to have when the same company puts out 3 games in the same line and
Well, you're
all
think-
3 are
you're
really
also-
good.
you're
I know
forgetting
Paladins, Architects, I mean, but all those 3 in that same, like those 3 games within a short
Forgetting
period of time.
Raiders.
Well, and Raiders and
So
all those,
four.
but
That's what I'm
no,
saying.
it's 6. But,
yeah, but-
but I mean, I'm talking about just in this line. That's, I mean, you pick up
They're
any of the
good.
3, each one is really good. Like each one works really well.
Yeah.
It's just for a game that came out near the end of 2020, this had to go on my favorites of 2020 list. It had to. And it definitely deserves to be there for me. So that is my number 4. We're gonna move on to Paul's number 3. So Paul, regale us with your number 3.
My number 3 was Dominations.
Dun, dun, dun.
And that's a kind of a variable tile board game
Yes.
one.
Yes.
That I did get some play in. That was it was enjoyable. I still believe that I need to play it more in order to fully enjoy it
Yeah.
more. Usually I get only like 2 plays out of these games with you when the one time out of the month that I managed to get to show up to play games with you.
But this is when we played twice in a row.
Oh, that's right. we did,
Yeah, like one day we were just like, it's Dominations Day. And yeah.
And though I played the base part of the game well, I believe it's that one has the tech tree, right? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. It's understanding the tech tree. I would need to know better in order to know which ones I want to pick and how I want to place them and how they work with what I'm doing and stuff like that. Yeah. And I think I played it more than twice because I think we played it
4 or
another
5
time.
times. Yeah.
So yeah, I would definitely play that again. So even though I wasn't very good at understanding it yet, it still brought a lot of enjoyment for me.
Yeah. And
Complex though.
How did you feel about it? You played it a couple of times.
Twice. It was,
Yeah.
I'm the one who played twice. I'd have to play it more.
I really enjoy the game. I love civilization building games. My favorite civilization building game is Through the Ages, but Domination Dominations gives you the table aspect, it gives you that territory control aspect that you don't get, in Through the Ages. As Through the Ages, it's simply just the cards, and you're just dealing with, your military strength and your culture and your science. That's really all you're dealing with. So I really do like Dominations too. I mean, I got a ton of plays of it. It helped me reach my 7H index. So I mean, yeah, definitely, it is really, really good. I really like Dominations.
What you talked about when you were muted, but we didn't talk about it
Yeah,
again.
so
The 7
so we'll talk about it real quick again. Is I have to shout out Rob. Got to thank him for helping me get to do this, because it has improved my board gaming in my eyes. Your H index, it's a scientific term that board gamers have kind of co-opted, but basically what it means is with my H index of 7, I played 7 different games 7 times each. So I had exactly 100 plays this year. I managed to hit my 100. Barely squeaked it out, but I managed to hit my 100. And out of that, a good portion of that was 7 of the same games that I played 7 times each. And Dominations was one of them. Dominations was one that got me to my 7. Absolutely love it. I really like the H index because it really makes you want to play the games either that you own or games that you play with friends again and again. So you really get your money's worth out of the games that you buy. And yeah, I mean, I absolutely love doing it. My goal this year was 5, and I managed to smash it with 7. Now a lot of those are 2 players, but hey, I don't care. 2-player counts. I don't count any games that I play with the kids. Like I don't count any like games that I play with my daughters. And I don't count any card games that I play like Vanguard or Magic. I don't count any of that. It's just board games, and it's just board games with my game group basically.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it. Yeah, H index. I highly recommend doing it. My H index for 2021 is 6, so hopefully I'll be able to hit that. And once again, 100 plays and a 6 H index. So
I don't know what mine is because I have a problem of
You
not
just-
remembering to put it in.
yeah,
there.
not only that, but you started late too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you didn't do the full year.
Yeah,
But
we'll
but
see
this
what
year-
happens this
yeah,
year.
Yeah, but this year, and same thing with you. We'll see what happens with you this year.
I actually have to download it.
Yes, you do. And you got to put and you already got to put in our first play of the year too.
Oh yeah.
So that is an H index. So we're still sitting at number 3. We had Dominations there. So Sonia, what is your number 3?
Architects.
Architects of the West Kingdom. Again, so talk about it.
I like the app. Like Viscounts, it's a lot of fun. You have the different options of what you get to do, and a lot of it is also fucking with your friends.
Yes.
I love imprisoning your people.
Yes.
Not just you, but
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. it's
Yeah, I
great.
do love the
Wonderful.
Yes, I do
And
love
then,
the capturing.
You get the
yeah.
money, and it's great.
You really got to be careful when you're playing Architects, because if you're just like, oh, I'm going to be the stone guy and I put all my people on stone, look at all the stone
You're
I
so
have.
dead.
Then one player just like, I'm going to take these 6 guys and they're mine now.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, God, like, I'm going to have to pay the hostage money to get them back because I can't wait for you to turn them in. Like, oh, my God. Like, yeah.
And it's even
yeah.
better when you can do multiple groups
Yes.
into the
Yeah.
prison.
That one would.
That was you. Yeah, the last time
Oh,
we
yeah.
played, you had some of everybody's stuff on your board at the end of the game.
Yeah, I would definitely like that one. Would have been on my top
my
10
God.
if I had a top 10. Probably about 7, 8. I definitely
Well,
did
well,
enjoy
well,
it.
architects.
Yeah,
What we're talking
architects,
about.
yeah.
Yeah.
Architects. Yeah.
Well, architects. I think we're going to see architects later in your list. So architects, yeah, fantastic game. I give it is highly rated. I said for me, architects would have been my number 4, but Viscounts it just kind of bumped it off the list. Didn't bump it down, bumped it off completely because I like Viscounts more than architects. I'm in the minority, but that's okay. Everybody's allowed to have their opinions, and it's fine. So then number 3, my number 3 game of the year. I really struggled for my top 3 games. I really struggled for which ones they were going to be. I knew it had to be these 3, but I just didn't know where they were going to fall. And after a lot of self-reflection, I had to put my number 3 game as Root. Now, I own everything for Root. I own all the expansions. I own the neoprene mats. I own
So
everything
pretty.
for the game. I
So cute.
love the game at 2-player with the mechanical enemy, with the
Yes.
mechanical marquee and the mechanical Eerie especially. I love those 2 mechanical. I absolutely love playing. I like all of the factions. The Marquita Cat is my least favorite, but I would happily play it in a game. Like that's
Yeah.
like it's my least favorite one to play, and I'd still happily do it. Like I love Root. You look at the game, and I've had to talk a parent out of buying the game for their children that were like 7 and 8 because I'm like, I know it looks cute, but this is a war game, man. Like this is a hardcore war game. Do not get it for your kids. They're not gonna
Our kids are
understand the
not the
game.
norm.
And well, even our kids don't play it. Like that one is one that
Oh no, the oldest loves it.
she loves how I showed her, but
Well, yeah.
she didn't play the full game.
Well,
she just like I was learning the
I just know
game
she
and
keeps
using
asking
hers.
me to
When,
play it,
yeah,
so.
but that's gonna be kind of beyond her at this point. Give her a couple of years and we'll try again. But I absolutely love Root. It is one of the best selling games of the year for a reason. Leader Games is really showing the stuff that they're made of. Fantastic game. I absolutely love Root. You've gotten to play it once or twice, right?
I have. I know I have, but it wasn't very much on the memorable part. And if I remember correctly, it was for the same reason that I haven't played it enough to understand it.
Yeah, because you were playing the Eerie when you played, and you had struggles because that's when I was still learning the game too. So like you were one of my guinea pigs. Now I can teach the game, in my sleep because I know every faction now.
No,
like-
the reason why I didn't like it is your fault.
But it's a game that's going to see my table. I mean, you're going to have a chance to play this game a lot. This game is really, really good. Really, really love it.
So we'll revisit that, my opinion of it after that.
Yeah, you never know. It might be on your 2021 top 5.
Maybe.
Maybe. So how do you like you played
I
Root
like it.
2-player a
It-
lot.
honestly, if I was doing a full top 10, it would be my 6th.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it. I like the components. I agree.
You're just not-
Kitty cat.
Yeah, you're just not as big into war games as like I am.
No,
so-
I do like them. It's just that one I like it a lot. It's just I like these more.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, Root, fantastic game. Fantastic game. Again, hard to get a hold of a copy right now, but if you can, it is definitely worth the
Recommend
experience. And how much I love the game. If you need help with the rules, hit me up. I'll help you out. I love the game that much. I have no problem helping you out, answer your questions.
email.
I have
us.
taught a lot of people
have the
how to play
email.
this game. It's there. It's there.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
I
Literally,
email.
the email below, like go ahead and email us there. Or if you're at Gamebolt when I happen to be working, then go ahead and ask me some questions about it. I'm more than happy to answer. I absolutely love Root. So that's my number 3. So we're going to go ahead and move on to number 2. And we're going to start with Paul's. Number 2. What is your number 2?
My
Paul?
number 2, I lied to you all. It's Architects of the Whiskey.
Yeah, like that's one. That's another one where we sat down on a weekend and we played that like 3 times in a row.
Right.
You and me.
Yeah. Now the first couple of times I played it, I enjoy a lot of games, including this one, but I really didn't enjoy it much. But after I figured out
was
how
the
to
third
play,
game.
it was the third game, and I was like, oh, I know how to play this game.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the third game? That's the game when
you
I
won.
like.
Yeah, that's
but-
the one where you won.
Yeah, but wasn't that also the one where I was like, you know what? I'm gonna forget like morality and just go bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're one of the few people that I've seen go hardcore bad, even
And
losing those
win.
points and win. Like you were just like, I own the black market.
Yeah.
The black market's mine. Like
It is
I'm gonna
mine.
take like, oh, this stuff is so cheap. I'm gonna take all this. And it was the first time that I really looked at it like, oh my god, that's a really good strat. If no one else is doing it, it is a top tier strat. Yeah, Architects
Yeah, yeah.
again. Like we've talked about it a bunch. Absolutely love Architects. I can definitely see why it's your number 2. Definitely
Yes,
see why it's
yes.
your number 2. And of course, yeah, you guys know how we all feel about it. So we'll go ahead and we'll move on to Sonia's number 2.
This one, I have a feeling you're gonna agree with it. Maracaibo.
Yes.
I love that. Could
Uh,
you put up the pictures?
I could. I do happen to have
Because
it.
we're going to go
Yeah,
ahead and we're going to
I
combine
have
this
it.
because Maracaibo
Well,
actually happens to be
fine.
my number 2 as well.
Great
So
minds.
we love Maracaibo. I absolutely love the game. The gameplay is great at
It is
1
so
through 4.
good.
The 2-player is fantastic. I love variable game length. I love when players are controlling how long the game can be, and you can race it if you get a comfortable lead, you can race to the finish to secure victory. Love it.
It's wonderful.
This is a follow-up to Great Western Trail, and there is a lot of people who are like debating whether or not which one's better. I land on the side of Maracaibo being better than Great Western Trail. I think the game has a little more meat, and especially that every card has 3 uses, not 2. It's
Yeah.
got 3 uses on each card. fantastic game. The story element, that like the campaign, everybody's like, oh, it's kind of tacked on. Like, to me, it's not tacked on. It really adds to the replay factor. Is really what it does. Because like Great Western Trail, I did play it a lot, but I did get to the point where I was like, okay, I think I've played this enough. I really need to get the expansion to really do anything. I haven't run into that yet with Maracaibo. And I'm way past the number of plays in Maracaibo than I was at with Great Western Trail.
Oh, yeah.
So really love Maracaibo. Got into an argument with the guy about how problematic the game may be. My thing is, it's a board game. If colonialism is a difficult or touchy subject for you, I'd give the game a pass. But frankly, any theme is problematic when you look at it, really. Anything can be seen in a certain light that it's like an evil. So I don't want to put politics or anything else in my board gaming. So I focus on the game itself. And the game is utterly fantastic. Love Maracaibo. It is on both hers and my number 2 favorite game of 2020.
The mechanics are amazing. I love it all. It's
Yeah,
fantastic.
I can't find anything wrong with the game. I don't have any negatives to say about Maracaibo. I really don't.
And if I remember correctly, you haven't played that one with me.
No,
No,
that we got that one right at the height of the pandemic, and it was another one where it's like, okay, we're wearing holes into Spirit Island. We're playing it so much, we picked up that one and was like, oh my god, this is so good. Like, yeah.
So
but that one is coming out.
You rate it so great, and yet you've never played with it. Played
Because
me
we're
with
playing
it.
the
No,
campaign
What's
no.
wrong
right
with
now.
it? Oh,
No, the campaign, you can drop in and drop out of the
Yeah, you
campaign
can.
too, because the campaign
Which is
it
actually a
does
really
tell a
good part.
story,
The
but
fact
the
that you
story's
don't
kind
have
of
to have it like
yeah.
set.
Yeah,
And you don't
the
have
story's
to,
kind of
mark
meh,
stuff.
to be honest. It is kind of meh, the story. I don't really care too much about the story, but I like the fact that the board state changes.
Oh, okay.
Constant. I love that. The board state is constantly in flux. I love that part. That part of it's amazing. That's really good. We'll definitely have to get a play of that here soon. Now that our curve is coming down, we went from red to orange. Things are looking up. This is definitely one that we're gonna play a lot.
Okay, yeah, good.
Hopefully.
Okay, so now for our number ones. And Paul, we're going to start with you. What is your number 1 favorite game of 2020?
My number 1 was one that we ended up playing early in 2020, and we had played before, but we had played in its pre-release version. And
Yeah, well, we still played the pre-release version, but we played with the updated rules. 'Cause I think I know which one you're
we
talking
did play
about.
the update, and
Yeah.
yeah, you're right, and that's Lander.
Yes.
Going to Mars, you guys are gonna die anyway, but
yeah.
but we're gonna fight with each other on who's gonna get there. It's got a good mixture of co-op and backstabbing, pretty
Yes.
much.
Yeah.
You got not so much working together, but you can't be too much of a jerk to the guy next to you because you'll hurt yourself.
Yeah, you do have to use the other people around you to kind of bounce stuff off of.
Yeah.
Sadly, the game Kickstarter did not succeed, so
Yeah.
that's going to be a hard one to find. But I mean,
It's
there
kinda-
is a demo copy of that one at Game Vault. If you want to try it out, I will teach you the game. When restrictions are lifted,
It's such a
I will
shame.
teach you the game. I will
know,
teach you
right?
the rules for that.
That's
but
why we
if-
haven't played it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's awesome because I don't own the game.
But you don't know the game.
Yeah.
But that's why you don't know the game.
Yeah, because I would have because I backed the Kickstarter and it failed. So
Yeah.
it was like it really hurt because that game is really really good, but it was a high price point because the components. But
And that's one of the parts I enjoyed. One of the parts I enjoyed about
He's
it
got
because
allergies,
it was
don't He's like, "Don't worry."
it was plastic. The board itself that you
instead
played
of
with.
cardboard, it was plastic, which was really
Yeah,
nice.
I knew it was
Yeah.
durable.
Very nice.
It felt good.
Yeah.
The pieces set in there very well. The art on the card, the pictures of the people and everything was very nice.
Yes.
For being sci-fi and everything. Not like Everdale where the artwork's beautiful like that, but it was
still very
they
compelling
were
art.
pictures. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was compelling art.
Yeah.
Even though were they real life pictures in a
No,
way?
there were artist
They were
renditions.
Artists
Yeah.
renditions. Oh, okay. Well, anyway, but yes. So I digress about that.
But yeah, number 1, Lander sadly did not make the Kickstarter, but yes, fantastic game. When restrictions are less than what they are now, then when Game Vault is available to take people for seeding again, hopefully in the near future, we have a demo copy of Lander, so we could show you the game. It is definitely worth the play.
I
Definitely
do
worth
like
the play.
it, but yeah, it is sad.
And
that
great company. I mean, they bent over backwards to get us everything we needed to play the demo. They gave us tons of artwork, everything we needed to do it. Like it was really, really good.
Maybe we can try and prod him a little.
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe like,
yeah. Like, come on, do it. Do
Do
it.
it.
Like, do it. I want
Playing
this
again.
game. Do it. Yeah. Okay, so going over to Sonia, what is your number one? I think I know what it is.
I think everyone knows what it is. It's Everdale. I love Everdale so much.
Yes.
We
Uh,
have little nuts for the stuff. We're getting the tree. Because
Yeah, we're
yes,
getting the
the
balsa wood
cardboard
tree.
tree
Yes,
does break, and you have to be
But
careful.
Umbrella, they do have a balsa wood tree that you can
On
purchase.
Amazon.
It is
Buy it.
definitely worth the price.
Yes. Yes. I love this tree.
Yes.
I love the tree. I love the components and the fact that yes, I first was quasi teaching the game on a night where it was like a sleepover kind of night for a bunch of ladies. We had makeovers and everything. I was sleep deprived, and yet I still did it. It was still fun, and yeah, we were sitting there for like this with the little squishy berries for like 10 minutes each. But it is an amazing game. It's
Yes.
wonderful. You
Highly recommend.
definitely get the expansions, play everything, and play it all together.
Yeah, highly
Great.
recommended. Highly recommended. So if you're a fan of Dyson Dudes, of our board game stuff, or if you are part of my board game circle, you probably already know what my number one is.
Yep.
It is the game that I played more than any other this year.
Yep.
It is a game that I've taught more than any other. I have so many. I stopped counting my plays of it because it wasn't fair. Like, because I'm getting too many plays of this one. So I stopped counting at 10, and I played the game almost every weekend for like 4 months after that. So I played the bejesus out of that game.
Good.
And my number one game of 2020, favorite game, is going to be Taverns of Tiefenthal. Taverns of Tiefenthal is a hybrid game. It is deck building, it is worker placement, it is dice manipulation, it is dice drafting, it is everything I love in the game. Everything I love about a game. They all got together in a strange orgy and out-popped Taverns of Tiefenthal. That is absolutely fantastic. I love Taverns of Tiefenthal. That game is amazing. I love it. I played it too much, and I'm going to continue to play it too much. I have literally played the game so much that the color is wearing off of the green die.
Yeah.
Like, I love the game that much. It is so good. It is. I sleeved the cards immediately because I knew I was going to play it so much. And it's
Yeah.
the freaking dice that are taking a beating now because I play the game so much.
Just means
Absolutely
we'll
love
need
the
to
game.
buy more
Absolutely
dice.
love the game. Yeah. Really, really love it. Really appreciate it. You guys have played it a lot with me.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I love playing it. My only complaint about it is I played it too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
You did kind of burn me out on it a little bit, but I totally could play it some more again.
Yeah, it's been enough time. Like, I have not played it for like 3 months because I did play it so much.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm already like talking about it and I'm feeling the itch. I'm feeling the itch to
What
play
was
it
it
again.
last time we played? I beat you.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You did win. I played with a handicap, but yes, you won.
What were you?
But yes,
sick?
my number one
No,
game.
the kids on him.
Oh
Yeah. My number one favorite game of 2020 is going to be Taverns of Tiefenthal. So real quick, we're going to talk about some honorable mentions for those of us who haven't. So Paul, we'll just go through each of your honorable mentions real quick.
Well, my honorable mentions are Pandemic the 10th Anniversary Edition and Pandemic the Cure. I love those games. The only reason why I didn't want to put them in my list is I've already played them before.
Yeah.
The 10th Anniversary Edition, I hadn't played that one before until this year, I believe, but I played the original version of it, and this is just an updated version that makes it so much better.
It is your Taverns of Tea.
It really is my Taverns of Tea.
Well, I played Pandemic over 100 times. I love the game too.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
like, yeah. It's the thing is, like, the only reason why Pandemic Legacy Season 0 didn't make my list is because we're waiting for someone else to get back in town and restrictions to ebb a little bit so we can play.
right.
Like, and the four of us, we're gonna knock it out in like 3 weekends. Like, we'll
Yeah.
finish the whole thing. Like,
If we
it's
get
gonna
to.
be fantastic. It's gonna be great.
Right. And the other one, the Pandemic the Cure, which is the dice version of
Yes.
Pandemic, much smaller game, plays
so
quicker
quick,
play. It's so great. I've played it so many times with my friends over here, even friends who are not gamers who have
Yes.
loved it.
Yes.
Uh,
It has the auspicious title of being the only game and I played with you, Adrian, and it was you who did it. We lost the first turn, the first player's
my
first turn of the game.
God.
We
Really?
lost. Yes, because he kept rolling the epidemics. So we had nothing. It was just he rolled epidemic. Blah.
topical.
He rolled epidemic. He rolled epidemic. It was like, oh my god! I'd never seen it before, and I haven't seen it since.
I
But he
prefer-
had the. But oh my god! So
I
it was
prefer
so good.
Iberian.
Iberia is really
Oh
good. too.
yeah, yeah. Pandemic Iberia is a
That
good
one's
one.
really good.
I need to play that one that you've left here before me. Pandemic,
Cthulhu one,
The
yeah.
Cthulhu one.
Yeah.
Some more so that you can get that. I know that I could probably play it with Rick or someone and,
Yeah.
and have some fun with that.
Oh,
But-
definitely. Yeah. Do you have any honorable mentions this year?
Yes, actually, do have a couple. I like Dice Hospital.
Yes, that
I
that
actually
was
have a
I was
lot
very
of fun
surprised
with
with that one. Yeah, I was
Wouldn't
really
think
surprised
it.
with that one.
But it was actually really fun.
Another one we got at the height of the pandemic. Yeah.
Topical. It's topical. And Fort.
Yes.
Hadn't
I
Fort,
heard that
like
one either.
Fort.
Yeah,
it looks so simple.
it
and
was
yet
my board game
it
of the
is
week
so
a couple
good.
weeks ago.
It's really good. I like it. I like the fact that you can teach your kids
Yes.
and they can enjoy
Yes.
it. You can be with your friends and enjoy it. It's a very good game.
Yeah, definitely highly recommend Fort.
Mhm.
Very good. It was one of my board games of the week for Game Vault. Fantastic game. They do have some copies left. I highly recommend it. If my 7 and 9-year-old can learn how to play it, you can teach it to your teenage kids. You can play with your adult friends. It is really good, and it plays quick too. It's like an aperitif style board game where you can start your board gaming night with it. It takes about 30 to 45 minutes to play, and then move on to a bigger game if you like.
Okay.
Really, really, really love Fort. And again, from Leader Games.
Yeah.
Leader Games has knocked it out of the park this year.
They've
They've
done a
had
good
they've had Root. They've had Fort. Before that, they had Vast and Mysterious Manor. Leader Games has been really, really doing well. My honorable mentions this year, and it's gonna throw people off that Everdale was not in my top 10, but it was in my top 5 of last year. Everdale is a fantastic game. It is really, really good. The only reason it didn't make my list is because it's so obvious that it's such an amazing game that I did just say, okay, that's too easy for me to just shoot that one in,
You
and I
can
want to
have
have some
crazy with
other
it, so
games.
yeah.
I want to have other games in there. It's another game where not only do I own everything for the game, but I have, like she said, little half walnuts to hold the components and
Little
a
signs for
clamshell.
open,
Yeah,
yeah.
a little clamshell for the pearls and everything. Love the game. Little open signs, so that way you can see what
We
cards
did
are
do
open
the
for business.
expansions here on the channel.
Yeah, we played a big game on the channel with all of that stuff. Absolutely love the game. It is a fantastic game. Love it. Highly recommend it. It's just, and I didn't also put on my list because it's impossible to find right now, but it does have a reprint coming. So there are copies of it coming. Next one is Dominations. I absolutely love playing Dominations with this guy. Love Dominations. I played it a lot. I played it 2-player, 3-player, and 4-player. Really, really love the game. Fantastic game. The only knock that the game really has for me is the art and the components. That's it. The component quality is a little less than what I would want.
It is all cardboard, pretty much.
Yeah, the player boards, they bend too much. That you have your tracks for the various knowledge tracks, but
And then they've got these little structures that you
yeah,
on
they have to
cardboard
put
that you
together.
get.
Yeah. But other than that, the game is fantastic. If you were to fix those things, I mean, oh my god, holy Jesus, that game would be top tier. Top tier. I mean, love Dominations. It's a fantastic game. Game that I played for the first time this year that I wanted to play for a long time was A Study in Emerald. And I only got to play it once, and it's
You
still
guys
an
were
honorable mention.
horrible.
Yes, that was such a good
Hero.
game. We played it, a 5-player game of it. We had a fantastic time with the game. Game was absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, Rob, for bringing it out and letting
Yes.
us play it with you. It is not a game you're going to be able to find for any kind of reasonable price, as it has been out of print for a while.
Yeah.
There's every year there's rumors of it getting a reprint, but it hasn't gotten one yet. But when it does, I'll be the first to put a pre-order in. The game was fantastic. It's a hidden trader thing in teams, but imagine if Cthulhu took over the world and succeeded, and now the revolutionaries are trying to take the world back, and the loyalists are trying to keep the status quo, and you don't know who's who. Which is just it's just fantastic. Really, really love the game. Yeah, she is forever salty because Rob, in the last one of the game, managed to switch his alliance to the revolutionaries, and then literally the game ended the next turn, leaving her as the last loyalist. So we won, and she was the only one to lose. But fantastic game. Absolutely love it. Great stuff. The last one that's on my list is one that I was actually surprised wasn't on your list, and that's Calico. I really love Calico as a game. Really, really good, interesting puzzle. It's right up there with Patchwork for me. Really, really like the game. It is a better 3 or 4 player game than a 2-player game, but it is still a very good 2-player game. Like, I think for 2 players, I think Patchwork beats it out because it's just a little more to Patchwork at 2 players.
Yeah.
But Calico is a great game, 2, 3, or 4.
cute.
Really, really good, super cute. It's cats and quilts. Who doesn't love cats and quilts? But
And
again,
buttons.
it didn't make my list because you can't find the game. Like, it is sold out
That's
That's
completely.
why I haven't played it then.
Yep,
And
it is.
there's another one that I think we both agree on. Honey Buzz.
Honey Buzz, I need more plays of. The only reason why Honey Buzz isn't making my honorable mentions right now is I've only played the game thrice. So I want to play it. No, I played it 5
Components,
times.
though,
No, I
are
played it
what
5
I
times.
like about it.
So actually, yeah, I would put it in my honorable mentions. Honey Buzz definitely deserves an honorable mention. It is
Components.
very
They
good. The
get you on the
components are good.
components.
I love the fact your hive starts identical, and then as the game goes, you'll change your hive.
And then you get
And
different
instead,
nectars.
and yeah,
It's
you
squishy.
literally are making like basically holes in the middle of your tiles where you can place nectar. Fantastic. And depending on how you place the tiles
Lots
is
of
what
fun.
kind of nectar. It is very good. I like the memory element to it. A lot of people don't, but I like the memory element to it, playing it with the advanced rules. But yeah. Yeah, that's going to be my honorable mentions for this year. That's what's going to do it for me.
So-
The last thing we're going to talk about.
I was gonna say before we get to that, Umbrella is curious as why to Small World didn't make on anyone's list. I haven't played it. I don't think.
I played Small World when it first came out years ago. It hasn't made my list in a while. I haven't honestly played a game of Small World in probably 3 years. And not because it's a bad game. It's not my favorite Days of Wonder game. My favorite Days of Wonder game will always be Five Tribes. Absolutely love Five Tribes. But it's a very good game. It's great territory control. Oh yeah, it's great territory control game. And with the new Small World of Warcraft out this year, it was an ample opportunity for me to play it. But I didn't buy the game
get
to
it.
give customers a chance to buy the game, and we sold out.
Oh.
So yeah.
So now
So I'm waiting. I actually traded off my Small World original a long time ago. It's a game that I would play if somebody brought it, but it's just not one that's in my 125 board games that I own. Like, I have that cap, and it doesn't
Because
quite
he
make
used
the
to
list
have
yet.
way more.
Yes, I had
yes,
way
we've
more than
trimmed
that.
down.
From over 300, I'm down to 125, and I
It's
still
gonna
have
be
a bunch.
126.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
It is in November.
Well, the last thing that we're going to talk about right now is some of my least favorite games. Now, the reason I'm going to mention these games is of my personal very bad experiences with these games. Sadly, you're not going to be able to have any input on this because you haven't played any of these. We actually had planned to play one of these on the stream, and that was literally, we were scheduled to do it, and then we had lockdown.
Yeah, I think the only game that I really didn't enjoy playing was that Chrono Trigger. No,
Oh, yeah, Chrono Corsairs.
Chrono Corsairs.
Yeah, I have to say that's
Agreed.
that's also on my least favorite list is gonna be Chrono Corsairs. The game had a lot of potential and it just kind of fell flat for me. Like it felt really hard. You know that I was not impressed with it at all. Like, and I really wanted to like it because I love Tasty Mitchell games. You know, and I love not Tasty Mitchell games. I'm forgetting the company. But I like a lot of AEG. And I love a lot of the games that they make, like Smash Up and stuff. But that game it was a swing and a miss for me. Like, it's not a bad game. It's just I didn't enjoy my time with it at all. Like, yeah, I do have to agree with that one. But the other games that are on there is the only one that got me that I spent money on, and it's the first time in a couple of years that I felt legitimately awful for spending money on a board game. Is going to be my first one is Horizon Zero Dawn.
I told you.
We gave it the old college try. We really did. We finished one full campaign of it, and we realized halfway through we were playing it for the 3 to 4 player variant, you know, and it was only 2 of us, so
we
it should have been
fixed it.
impossible. No, it should have been impossible for us to win, and it wasn't. We had no problems. Neither of us fainted.
Yeah, no.
Not one time in the entire campaign. We had no struggles, no problems at all. So everything was easy. Your every turn was the same thing of like, well, all I'm gonna do is attack. That's all. Like that's the only thing you can do is I'm gonna attack. They're like things that boggled my mind was like the Sawtooth has the radar detector, but if you just like and it'll detect you in tall grass, so you need to destroy it. But if you destroy it, well, it's alert for the rest of that round. It never goes on alert, so there's no point destroying it. Like so, why would you and any breaking any parts on literally any of them? It's like why just kill it. Like yeah, there may be some minor benefits like on the crab, you can get some items for it, but it's like, eh. And there's no worse feeling than killing something, going into the deck of the shards and going, oh, you get nothing for this. You get no glory. It's like, oh, great. I'm glad I pulled that random card that's now going to give me absolutely nothing for killing this thing. Like, yay, that's fun, you know? There's no variety to the game. It's the same thing every single time you play. The core box honestly feels like a glorified Kickstarter demo. It's really what it felt like. It felt like, okay, I can see the basis you're going for. What else is there? Oh, this is the whole game. Oh, well, crap. So, just really disappointed with that one. That was the first one I was really disappointed with, and probably my biggest disappointment because, again, I spent money on it. Next one is going to be Godspeed, and I really wanted to like Godspeed because I love colonizing a planet, you know. I love that stuff. I love going to a planet, and, you know, and all that. But Godspeed was just a big dud. It's a run-of-the-mill worker placement game. It's got a different take on worker placement, but the take is too similar to every other take of every other worker placement game that I was just like, eh. Yeah, and the 2-player game is not good. I didn't like it at 2-player at all. So that one, but again, that one was just kind of like, eh. It's like that one's like Chrono Corsairs, which is like, oh, I see what this could have been.
Well, if you were to compare that to
Lander.
well, no, I was gonna say Lander. I was gonna say First Martian.
Yeah, no, like as flawed as First Martian is, First Martian knocks it out of the park. I mean, oh my god, it's so much better, way better than Godspeed. And it's got its problems, but I mean, yeah, Godspeed just kind of fell flat. The next 2 games are kind of like public service announcements for me. Awaken Realms is a company that I am now very wary of. While I like Nemesis cooperative, I don't like it the semi-co-op nature of it. I only like the game in with the cooperative version. The games that really irked me this year, and they were super successful on Kickstarter, are both from them. They're both from Awaken Realms, and they both have the exact same problems. Like no difference in it. I could talk to you just about Etherfields, my problems with it, and that would be the exact same problems I have with Tainted Grail, and that is Etherfields and Tainted Grail. Blah 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 of Avalon. Big nothing burger games, both of them. Etherfields is the same monotonous thing over and over and over again with no change to the gameplay loop at all. I did not enjoy the game. The graphic design of the game, the board is so big, there's no adequate place to sit. Even playing the game solo, like I tried, I couldn't sit at anywhere around it. I'm like, well, if I sit over here, I can't reach there, and if I sit over here, I'm like, to reach everything. It's just like, why? And it made a ton of money on Kickstarter because it has great looking miniatures, and the components are great, and everybody wants their Kickstarters to have thousands of cards, but when the cards don't matter, when they don't change anything, when everything is just super generic, it's like, what's the point? And Etherfields, even more than Tainted Grail, is like, you're talking about dreamscapes, man. The sky's the limit. You can do anything here, and it's just a big blah. Like, I did not enjoy like Shut Up and Sit Down, and no pun included, some other people have reviewed this, and they've all talked about how they loved the game for the first few hours, and then after that they were like, oh my god, this is like, no, I hated the game. An hour in, I'd already decided I don't want to play this anymore. And that was the same with Tainted Grail. Tainted Grail is the same thing. The game is the same monotonous gameplay loop over and over again. Yeah, the board is pretty, but again, I have the same problems with it. I don't know where to sit at that board. Everything just feels like it's kind of bloated. It didn't need to have all this extra stuff on top of it. It just feels like, again, like they're doing it for Kickstarter. They're getting cash out of it. They're making a lot of money, and that's not good. I mean, if you're gonna make $3 million on a Kickstarter, that's great, but I hope you give people a product that they can really enjoy instead of just, I don't want it to turn into some kind of get rich quick scheme where it's just like, oh, well, we're going to put miniatures in this game and we're going to put good artwork in this game. And yeah, like this game's going to sell. Like, okay, but the game itself, there's no game here. Like there's, what the heck is this? Like, this is terrible. And ISS Vanguard from Awakened Realms looks eerily similar to those two games. It's got fantastic miniatures. It's got great looking cards and good artwork. And it's made a ton of money on Kickstarter, but it missed my money this time. I'm not getting taken in by them.
Yeah, no.
I was like, that's one I would definitely say when it comes to Kickstarter now, especially moving on to 2021, with companies like what Awakened Realms is doing, and this is burning bridges for me because they're not going to want to deal with me after this. Like if there was ever a chance for a sponsor, I don't want it because frankly,
It's bad.
I don't
We're
like
not
it.
total horse.
And like, I'm
No.
sorry, it's I can't get behind
Only
this.
slay.
Like I can't get behind these games because it's just they're so bad.
Yeah.
And I wish I could say that ISS Vanguard would finally be the straw that broke the camel's back and show people what this company's actually doing. But I don't think that's going to happen. And as long as it keeps happening, we're going to keep getting really, really shoddy Kickstarters. So I'm really hoping that moving forward, things will change. But that's going to be my least favorite games of 2020. But hey, let's end on a great note. Taverns of Tiefenthal is fantastic. It's a great game.
It
You
is.
should buy it. You should get it. It is fantastic. But guys, thank you all very, very much. One copy left of Game Ball. One copy left. But definitely, guys, thank you so much for dealing with our technical problems. Thank you guys for chatting with us in the chat.
Thank
If you guys have any other questions, leave a comment on this video on YouTube. I'll answer any of your questions. I'll get back to any of that.
Email us.
You can email us. You can send us a tweet on Twitter.
A message on Facebook.
Message on
something
Facebook.
a message on
We'd
Instagram.
love to interact with you guys. We'd love to talk about it. Again, I love teaching games and stuff like that. So if you guys have any questions, you guys need any of that stuff, just hit us up. I think that's going to do it, right, for us
Yeah.
tonight?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you all very much for
Thanks,
joining
guys.
us. Remember, from us dudes roll dice. You guys have a good one.